All right. Yes. A very active, imaginative process that you can repeat from time to time. But just notice already, just the one time, and you feel lighter. Know that you are different now. New futures are creating who you are being. Beautiful. And so we have time for some questions. John, who do we begin with?
Francis. It's not working for him.
So Francis remembers star six. And can everybody unmute if they need to?
They can. Hey, Francis.
Perhaps he can exit the room and re-enter.
Maybe he just fell asleep.
Yes. All right. And who is next?
Helen.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
So, for 2.5 years, the Quaker meeting has been debating having a banner. And what's on the banner that hangs, it's on a busy street. Um, and there's like about 6 people in the meeting that want it to be something jarring. I've talked to you about it before, and genocide and apartheid. And then there's people like me that like, well, that pushes people away and blah, 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 blah. We're still debating this. And we have now consulted the Jewish minion that meets, and this is their place of worship. And it turns out, even before October 7th, it could break up after 20 years because half of the group feels that what the Israelis do to the Palestinians is wrong, and half of the group is fine. And that was before October 7th, but now since October 7th, it's in a very fragile place, and the banner could kind of tip the scales, and they would leave, but they would break up permanently. So it's a big deal. So we met with them, and most of us had a beautiful experience. They spent months planning, people from their side, our side. So we report back to the meeting. We have this big meeting about it. And one of the things I said, and I've been saying for 2.5 years, is I just don't understand. Who are we trying to put a banner up for? What are we trying to get them? Like, what's our intention? What's the point? And I had 2.5 years, I've never gotten an answer. So this time, after I have, you know, somebody from the meeting reported back how things went, and I added on to it. I said, I just want us to understand if we do this, we're their landlords, and this is probably going to be the final straw that breaks this group up. There's like 450 members. This is the consequence. And and is and oh, by the way, in my little breakout group, um, we had like the chief lobbyist for the last National Federation of Jews. I mean, there's some people in the group that really can have influence over their communities. I was like, oh, how wonderful that we finally talked to these people. It's wonderful just to have dialogue with them. So I'm just excited. Like, to me, I'm like, oh my God, the banner did its job. It brought us to actually sit down with people who have influence. Anyway, so um, and then at one point in the meeting, I stand up and I give a long thing because there's all this back and forth. People aren't listen. It's supposed to be a meeting of listening, and people aren't listening. There's no space between when one person talks and the next person talks. We're not listening to each other at the Quaker meeting. And everybody's got their opinion. And there's still a lot of people who are like, this is our truth, and we should put the banner up. And so I stand up, and I still have not heard what's the point? What are we trying to achieve? What's our intention? You know, and so I'm just kind of very blunt about it. And I say, look, I think we're all in pain and we have a right to be in pain, but they're in pain and they have a right to be in pain. And we're all in pain about the right things. But that does not mean we should vomit our pain on the rest of the world. And I think that's what this is. You know, I think we're in pain and we're vomiting it everywhere. And then I'm trying to make fun of it. And I'm like, look, if you guys want to vomit pain, just come over to our house and yell at Harry because he's a Jew and he just will have to suck it up. And like everybody's laughing. And and uh so then one of the people who's really aggressive about this banner, but that other people who, are still, even after I speak, are like, this is our truth and we need to put the banner up. So, like, so I think there's a lot of people who like what I said. And then there's still the dogmatic people who are like, no, this is our truth. We need to put the banner up. And then afterwards, one of the dogmatic people, like after I sit down, she storms out of the room and she sends me a very long email later in the day. Like, I can't believe you said that. It was totally unquakerly of you. I'm going to be sending a second email to the head of the meeting and ask them why they didn't tell you to stop talking, like interrupt you and tell you to stop talking and sit down and shut up. But she says this in a much longer message. Um, and I haven't responded to her, but I think what I'm wondering that now I'm realizing this is a very long explanation to you, but I'm wondering, is my talking about, after 2.5 years not hearing an intention, that I think we're just vomiting rage and pain. And I said it in a very loving way because I said, I think, and then I talked about how what I'm in pain about and so to validate their pain. And I also said, but the Jews are also in pain and they're in pain for the right reasons too. So I wasn't trying to make anybody feel bad, but is like when I'm in a public forum now that I am starting to be public and more, is is it impossible for people to hear that? Was that like a bad message? But a lot of other people thanked me for my message afterwards.
Yes. So as far as reality creating goes, so what are you, so you have the gratitude from some and you have the discord from others. As you look at it from, okay, this is a script I've written, so I get to feel and think and express and have impact. And you represent two voices, which is what your movie is about as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And so what you're finding is the answer isn't either or. It is something in between. It is something new that doesn't yet exist. There is a synergy, there is a harmony that is possible. There is something greater that is possible, something new. And so we propose that you sit in the liminal and bring forth both sides. Okay, there's the me who has pain and has a past and has an identification, and those are the ones that want to put the banner up. And then there's the me who is the spiritual adult who is looking for new solutions and who has wants to have positive impact. And yet either or isn't going to have either, isn't going to accomplish that. Either they will be offended and leave, or the Quakers will be offended, that they cannot express their point of view. So so far there's a no-win situation, isn't there?
Well, I would say I think more of the Quakers don't want the banner at this point. It's not, but there is a few that are still really dogmatic. Um, I would say most of the Quakers don't want the banner anymore. But but the Quakers have come to a sense of unity, the majority of them, that what is going on is genocide and apartheid. Um, and in my small group, for example, I think most of us who participated in these discussions with the Jewish Minyan said that. Like I said it in my group. I said, I think it's apartheid and a genocide, but I think this banner thing is absurd and I apologize. I said, I'm sorry we're here talking about it. I wish we'd be talking about something else. But I said, but I think it's apartheid and genocide. And two of the people in my small group were like, thank you for saying that, including the lobbyist. So it's not that the Quakers want the banner, but there are the dogmatic people within the Quakers that want the banner. So I think the meeting is shifting. Um,
And so there's still the vision of what's possible, what's the future that's creating the discussion, what's the positive future you are dreaming that is having impact on you, where you understand, okay, there was a time when the banner would have been meaningful to you personally, even, but now
yes,
it seems as though it would be counterproductive.
yes.
And so as you dream the future that is most optimal and you step into it, what's different about that future? What do you have access to that is not yet in form in this current reality? What are the resources that are required to lift this from conflict into resolution? And we understand it's being represented out there as well. This topic, it's not an insignificant or unsubstantial topic. It's an important one. What do you do when two groups cannot meet? There is no easy answer. There is no true compromise possible, because compromise means one side has to give up something. And so it needs to be transformed into a different discussion.
Yeah, I did suggest at the end of the meeting, I was the last person that spoke. I got the last word. Yay, me. And I did stand up and when I did that, when I did talk that for that long one, I said, look, we're all creative people. Why don't we, what this banner has done is it's prevented us from getting creative and coming up with any other idea that still could express our how upset we are about what's going on. And why not just drop this and just come up with a new idea? So then at the very end, I got when I stood up at the end, I'm like, look, why don't we still don't have agreement on this. Why don't we even again stop talking about a banner and try and bring together, local Jews and Palestinians, artists, to create a piece of art together that expresses our pain over apartheid and genocide, or musicians that come together. Like, why don't we forget the words and go to art or song or something? And there were people that liked that idea. And so I did throw that out, and that was kind of and nobody was, then they were like, okay, we're stopping here. That's great. And the co-clerk of the meeting, the co-head of the meeting, after the meeting was over, like, I love that idea. And so I did try and, give people a whole different thing to put their attention on. Um,
Wonderful.
I don't know if that's what you were asking me when you said what
Yes.
else.
Well, it is a start, isn't it? It is beginning to think of things in terms of something new. Okay, the banner was supposed to express and protest and uh and say this is what we think. But as you're beginning to understand the purpose of the banner itself and the location it will be placed has consequences, has negative impact on other groups. And so it becomes a question of is it still the most optimal form of self-expression? Would be the best way to put it. It's not a bad form, it's not wrong to do it, but in the context of, as you say, the complexity of the group being the landlord and the tenant would be targeted, you might say, as being bad and wrong. Well, it's not really intended that way, but if that's how it's received, then it's important to see the communication that is received is the impact that you have had. And so that's where your creativity is coming in. Oh, we don't have to stay with this idea. Nothing says we have to do the banner, except for those that you said are dogmatic and they insist that the banner happen. But if that's not the majority, will that then come about? Or have you shifted the energy and the resonance to being one where new solutions are possible? So, as a metaphysician, your job is to continue to dream the new solutions, bring in new energies that don't yet exist there. Open it up as you have done. Okay, I got my last word in. That last word might actually shift the topic, but don't stop there. Meaning you don't need to make it happen, but continue to dream what is the benefit of changing the topic? What what else is a higher truth than expressing emotion and outrage? What is once that's expressed, now what? What's possible? What's the next thing that's possible? So start working in terms of there's a future that is possible that this originally was motivated to get to. Originally, that was the correct action. But now, 2.5 years later, perhaps it's not the most optimal. Perhaps there are new ways of expressing ourselves. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. And on, I still am wondering, like, so Sunday I've got I'm still wondering, should I have stood up and talked about, I think we're trying to vomit pain and outrage. And I don't think that's helpful. Was that, I mean, was that a bad thing to say publicly? Like, can people not hear that?
It's very
And
it's very descriptive. It's probably too strong of an expression. You could just simply say, it seems like we're too focused on the pain, and you would have the same impact, except that it would be easier to hear,
gotcha. Gotcha.
unless you want to have shock impact.
Well, the thing is, I've just been trying I've been asking every time we have this discussion for 2.5 years and nobody can answer it. And so I was just like, I mean, the thing that I said was, I have been I have waited until I'm emotionally grounded for me to do something publicly so that I don't have negative impact. And I just think that, like, so I was trying to very lovingly, lovingly talk about my own process, but I do think I got her upset. Well, I obviously got her upset. And so I was just, and then I was trying to be funny about it, which is why I'm like, come over and yell at Harry. But she really mad about this. So then I was just thinking, even though I was trying to be funny about it, it didn't come off across as funny. And maybe I shouldn't talk about emotions at all, publicly. I don't know. Because I don't want to, Sunday is when I'm talking to the Jewish synagogue group, and I don't want to make a similar mistake if I should just stay off of talking about any emotions. I guess
Well,
that's what I'm
why
really,
would it be that dramatic, black and white? So sit with your adolescent, take care of the fears that are there, that you're too much, that you're too intense, that they can't hear what you have to say, that you're going to be rejected. All that stuff is from your adolescent. So sit with her, let her know it's not her job to give the presentation. What does she want to do instead? And let her have her reality in her timeline. And then when you look at it, okay, I can talk about emotions, but if I'm going to have shock value, I need to be prepared for the consequence of that. So if I'm there to wake them up, but I do it with a shocking tone and words, vomiting is a violent word, you see. It's visceral.
Mhm.
And it's not normally related to emotions. It's normally related to expelling food that you don't want, nourishment that you can't take in. So you want to be careful if you're wanting them to reflect on something, that you're using congruent words. So what would be another way to lead somebody to consider whether they are in pain, whether they have been suffering? And is it appropriate for the time that you're given? And can you normalize it by sharing that I'm in pain? Does that make sense? So you have to
Yes.
decide, do I have the time I need to take somebody into the pain and bring them back out? Because it's not fair to leave them there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you're supposed to be brief, there's no time. And like so we were supposed to be brief yesterday, and then this coming Sunday, we're supposed to be brief. I mean, I probably don't have the time to do that either.
Unless
'Cause
it's simply in the story you tell about yourself, and they may or may not relate to what you're feeling because you're going to have your context. They may or may not relate to it, and you want them to relate to it. So then it's important to be aware of, okay, for the time that we're given and the intention for the communication, what metaphor, what story is going to support the intention best? Does that make sense?
yeah.
So we talked a bit about it personally last week, and so you have something to work with already. As you work within the construct of you having the most success with the talk. How do you know you had success? Because you get feedback. Oh, that was really wonderful. That really helped me. That was so helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the question becomes, oh, what did I say? What was impactful? What was important to share? I need to share about from me, from my soul, from my higher self, from my heart. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So only bring it up if I can be gentle. It's about me. I have to have enough time to lead them in and kind of like when I'm trying to
Well,
heal my child or
it depends.
adolescent and put them in.
If the conversation, if the presentation is about what it means to be a Palestinian American and the consequences of the war on you, that's a different talk than the one that you described to us.
Right.
Does that make sense? So don't
Yeah.
collapse because you won't be successful. That's a different talk and it's a different audience. So, given the parameters you were given for what there is to share, with you and Harry being a part of it, it's a different talk than that one. Even if that's the one you really want to have that one in meditation. Give yourself the gift of having that talk that you've always wanted to have, and then also allow them to give you positive feedback in the meditation. And then you can focus on the talk that there is to have that allows you to be you and Harry to be Harry, and for you, the both of you, to have the greatest impact. Does that help?
Yes.
Because
Okay.
because doing that first talk in meditation will help you clear up your mind and your emotions. And then out of that, if some of it shows up, it will be in context and it will be appropriate and it will be well received. Does that help?
Mhm. And then since I did this shocking thing yesterday, I guess I could go into meditation and um ask for forgiveness and try and clean it up or something.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Tara.
You're right on track. Beautiful. And thank you for that. It's a complex topic. And each of you who are looking at the world and saying, this is right, this is wrong, why can't they just do what I think they should do? But out there is reflecting to you the paradox and the black and white reality of the adolescent and the rage and the outrage and that, well, how do we get to constructive uh, dialogue that leads to beautiful, brilliant futures? And so we suggest you always work with the future, because then you understand and you have your commitment to those higher resonances. And out of that comes new solutions, new ideas, new emotion, new thought. If you just come from the problem state, wonderful that you recognize there's a problem. But it doesn't mean the solution is in that resonance. You need the higher resonance to find the solution. And so that's when detachment is so important from the illusion. Okay, I'm really buying into this. They did it wrong, or they should have done it better, or what are they doing? It's so crazy. Don't they see the damage they're going to do? So on and so on. Don't they know that each human life matters? Whatever the outrage is, it's important to say, okay, I've had my emotional outburst. Now I'm going to detach from it and I'm going to go with it. And I'm going to say, higher self, I've gotten myself all worked up about this, so much so that I think it's more real than I am. And I don't remember that I'm creating it. I don't even remember it's my feedback mechanism. So I need help for my higher self to center and to remember who I am. And that this out here is an illusion, reflecting back to me certain information that helps trigger energies. But it's not all there is. It's just one aspect of reality that I'm working on at the moment. But in order to find solutions, I got to go and gather new energy. I've got to go into the unknowns. I've got to go work with the optimal future self. And I do that with my higher self. And I allow those new energies to infuse my being, change my resonance. And in that detached state, that reflective state, when you restore a sense of peace and centeredness, now you can begin to desire, imagine, and expect something new. All right, wonderful. We love you so.
Thank you, Tara.
All right, and John, who is next?
Francis.
Tara, it's me, Francis. Hi. Can you hear me, Tara?
Absolutely. Can you hear us?
I sure can. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't get, I didn't open up like I should have. But anyway, I'm here now.
Wonderful.
And thank you, John.
Yes. Where do
So here's what's been going on, Tara. I've been working really on my motherhood and self-pity, because you never know you have that unless people point it out for you. But I've had to move a couple times, and I recently moved, and I moved into a home that's very neat and clean with two other roommates, which I don't like, because I always lived on my own and I always lived in beautiful places. This is not in a great neighborhood. And the woman who owns the house, she owns several houses. She basically she sleeps on the couch here, and is very controlling and very dominating. And it's awkward. It's awkward to keep my mouth shut and have her do what she does. So ultimately, it's having my own home, owning my own house, and living as I want to live. And it's to be controlled or dominated is not part of what I want for my reality. So with that, please share some feedback with me on how to get out of this.
So we'll begin with, okay, you've recognized, okay, maybe my martyrhood or my pattern of martyrhood or my pattern of self-pity has me not be able to respond to my reality.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the only response that I know. So as you consider, you have your toolkit. You have a range of tools, many. And when you're in you the more, the tools you reach for are connection to higher self, meditating, visualizing what you want more of, visioning, stepping into the optimal future and knowing, yeah, this is what I want more of. And then coming back into the here and now and saying, okay, how am I doing? Where am I at with this? Oh, I don't have it yet. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Or I'm going to do it to get the idea of what my next step could be. And when you're in your lesser self, well, that's survival. So what are the tools of the lesser self? Well, those that the child and the adolescent developed. So self-pity and martyrhood fall into those camps, or loneliness or abandonment or rejection. So as you look to see, okay, what am I feeling? What am I really feeling? And is it me or is it other people's emotions? Because you're sharing space. So what is truly me? Well, I'm pretty comfortable with me. Or I don't know what me is. So you have to decide, do I know who I am and what I think and feel, and I have dominion over myself, or am I at the effect of my illusion? Am I just reacting? I wake up and, oh my gosh, there's somebody on the couch. I don't like that, and it ruins my day. I go into martyrhood, I go into self-pity, and well, it's not my fault. It's because they're on the couch. That's why I feel bad. You see the difference?
Yeah, no, I know that I create it all. I know I create 100% of my reality.
Well,
And
you allow 99.9%.
yeah,
And then the
yeah.
question becomes,
So
wait a minute, if I'm allowing it, who's in charge? So it's about stepping back and saying, wait a minute, I don't like what I'm allowing. Because I really don't, if I could create it any way I wanted, this wouldn't be it. So I must not be creating it consciously. I must be allowing it. And when did I stop consciously creating what I want? Well, I don't really even need to know that because I can start creating what I want right away. I can look around my space and decide, what do I like about what I've created? Well, I have a place to sleep. It's within my budget, if it is. It is
it is. Mm-hmm.
safe for me to dream and go within and create a new reality. If the kitchen is beautiful and clean and is full of gadgets and things, if you like to cook or if you like to just feel at home in a kitchen that is a well-stocked kitchen, focus on that. Well, even if it's not my stuff, it looks nice, and I appreciate that. I appreciate a clean home. So the cleanliness part, it's a small thing, but something to appreciate. Nice to be in a place that feels good. Now, you mentioned not such a good neighborhood.
No, it's at one time
Does it really
it was.
affect you?
No, it does not.
Meaning, do you feel safe when you walk out the door?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. So the neighborhood, whether it's upscale or low scale, whatever, doesn't affect you, does it?
I guess not really. No, I would say
Yes.
not.
So, do you prefer a different neighborhood? Yes, probably, or you wouldn't have noticed
Sure.
and scaled that one. But rather than focusing on this isn't it, as you walk to where you're going, say, oh, what if I lived in this other neighborhood that I know so well and I appreciate? Can I see myself in my imagination being in that neighborhood? Or if you don't really know where the neighborhood is, maybe I'll spend some time Googling or even getting a ride around town and exploring. Now, you've been in that town for many years, so you probably already know some of those nicer neighborhoods.
Yeah.
This something
Well,
bad?
the last two places I lived had different challenges. Like the challenge for this place I just moved into eight days ago, but the place right before this was pretty dirty, and there was a very loud guy there, and he would talk in Spanish all over the place and keep me up at night, and it was very awkward. I had to get out of there. But this
So
has
in
a
this
whole
in
other
this
set of
new place,
challenges.
have you now created a different reality where you get to sleep at night?
I do, yes.
Yes. So more quiet, more peaceful, more clean, things to appreciate. So what we're saying here is it's easy to identify what's wrong, but you don't create what you want in that resonance. You create what you want when you're appreciating what you have done well. it supports your self-confidence. It supports your self-respect and your self-esteem to know, yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually improved. It's not there yet, but I'm a step closer. And I'm becoming even more clear, and it's even easier to imagine myself having the reality I want.
Yeah. It's a good point. That's true. Yeah.
And you feel that more closely when you're appreciating what you're doing right. Yeah, my magic is working. Yeah, my higher self is looking out for me. Yeah, I've got time. This isn't it, and I'm going to start looking again. But this was a step in the right direction. I can acknowledge the universe for what it has delivered.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then to really look at, okay, the me that has it already, what does he believe that's different than what I currently believe? And to look in that, you don't need to share it, but to look in that arena of for me to be in my own home where I have the safety and the autonomy and all of that, that I've always known. Anything that you've had in the past is easy to create again. Very easy to
Okay.
create. Anything you've had in the past is already a part of your belief basket. When you let that in, oh, it's going to be easy to create it again. It hasn't been easy. I've been struggling with health stuff and financial stuff. And well, if I don't have my health, then my finances suffer. When my finances suffer, then my health suffers. So you've been in this vicious circle.
Yes, I have.
And as you let yourself know, that's consensus. As you really let in, oh my gosh, I've been trapped in a consensus version of reality, an old age script that people agree is, well, that's just how it is. You get old, you get sick, you can't make money, and then you get sick more, and then you can't make even more money or less money, and blah blah blah. And this is the consensus script of old age. And so it is important to distinguish that and say, wait a minute, that's in my beliefs, but I don't have to keep that one. I don't have to empower that one over the one where I'm feeling better and better and I'm creating miracles and I just know my future self is healthy and vibrantly alive and enjoying life and has more and more access to resources. You see that it's a choice. Which future are you letting impact you today? The one that's gone the consensus route and is sort of fading away in the distance, and death is imminent, or well, it's just an expected thing someday? Or are you going to make the map for the new script, which you are doing also, where no, I've focused on health my whole life. I know what it feels like to have a sense of well-being. And I know that when my physical well-being is supported energetically by earth consciousness, by a future that I'm living into, magic happens. I'm more ready to create something new. And I have that in my resource basket already. I know what it feels like, and I have done it in the past. I'm not going to necessarily want to create the same level of effort and work because you did come out of a script where if I work really, really hard and diligently every single day, then the rewards will come. That script doesn't suit who you are right now, and it doesn't suit who you're.
Right.
And so part of you keeps saying, no, not that. That is too much work. That isn't right for me right now. I need more elegance. I need more ease. I'm here to create magically. Now, others will tell you magical thinking is what got you in trouble. It did not get you in trouble. The martyrhood got you in trouble, or the self-pity got you in trouble.
Yes.
But the desire and the imagination and the expectation of something new will never get you in trouble. It will open new doors. It allows you that energy of hope and light that you need to make the changes. So as you are and have been doing, visioning the future you want, now don't be too stuck on, I want to own my own home and live alone, when at the same time you're saying, I want a relationship and I don't want to be alone. In that
Yeah.
conflict, it's going to screw you up. The universe is going to say, I guess he just doesn't know what he wants. We'll just leave him where he is. So choose which is the priority. To be in relationship or to have autonomy. In relationship,
You know,
you are autonomous also. But if you have a definition that says, well, when I get in relationship, it's all about them. I don't get what I want. I get a say in things. Why bother? Well, then you want to clean up your definition of relationship. If you want to be autonomous, and that is empowering, wonderful. But when we hear you say, I want a relationship, how do I get a relationship? Then we know that autonomy is not your ultimate best version of reality. That your ultimate best version of reality is one where you are in community of some sort, perhaps one-on-one partnership, perhaps, and you've been exploring being in a household of groups, and you're finding, well, this isn't what I want. Well, not this. I don't really want to be with other guys. And you're getting closer and closer to really owning that, well, maybe I do just want to be in a relationship with a woman. Maybe that would
yep,
be neat.
that's what I'd like.
And then you have a landlady who is scolding you and controlling you, and you say, maybe I don't want women. So as you're being confronted with your own beliefs, what do I really believe about a relationship? A loving relationship? What do I know is possible? And I haven't yet created. But I see it all around me. Others have it. Maybe I can let myself create that for me.
I've had a fear of abandonment, to think about having really the most wonderful gal and then her leaving me. And through the years, that has happened.
Yes.
So, or I've
Yes,
been involved with
yes.
a woman that is involved with somebody else. It's a terrible feeling. It really is. It's an awful feeling because it doesn't make you feel like you're a priority,
Well, and you're not in that scenario. But why would you write that script? See, you've already had it in the past. Why would you put that past into the future? What gives you control over that? Well, then I know I'm going to get abandoned. I might as well prepare for that. Consider that your definition of relationship is too narrow. That there are other forms of relationship that you haven't seen or experienced for yourself yet because of the fear of abandonment, the expectation of abandonment. When you delete that, this evening's meditation was about deleting negative futures and seeding positive ones.
right?
That's one of those negative futures that you gathered up and you transformed into new energy to plant the seeds for a loving relationship in the future. And now to do the step of stepping into the you that has it already and is the you that has it already, the most positive version of you. Not the weak version, not the one where you're the victim, not the one where you're the martyr, but the most positive, loving version of you who is loving as a priority to yourself and others. Is he in fear? No, he's not. Does he trust that he can respond and communicate and that they will respond and communicate back? Wow. Well, I don't know. All of my relationships have rejected me, so I don't really know what that looks like. Well, but does he, the optimal version of you, does he have skills that you don't yet have? Yeah, he does. Can you gather energy and belief from him? Yes, you can. What must you believe to be that you, that most positive version of you, who knows how to respond with love? Who has healed what was broken? Who understands the future creates the present against the backdrop of the past? So to work with it in that way, to really let yourself,
Yes.
we don't know. It
Yes,
may
that's
be, the priority may really just be, I want to be whole and complete.
I want to be what?
Yes.
What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry, Tara.
I want to be whole and complete.
Yes, true.
Yeah, and yes, that is the next step. But once you have that, now what do you create? Well, I create anything I want. I can have the relationship, I can have the money, I can have the home, I can have the reality I want. See, being whole and complete is the priority, the first step, but it's not the end of the story. And as you let in separation from God, Goddess, higher self, soul, that's an illusion. It was a necessary illusion so that you could define yourself as an individual, so that you could work with your image and know this is my boundary. But you've rounded the bend and you're now returning home as that unique individual to participate, to co-create reality. It's an illusion that you're separate. It's important to write a new script. I'm done with the separation. I'm done with the loneliness. I need a new script for who I'm becoming. And I'm going to gather that information from the optimal me already in Dominion, who's co-creating reality, who can receive input and give as much or more. And that's a new way of being. Each of you are exploring this. You're each at the point where the past has diminishing returns. If you're leaning on who you were in the past, it's not working anymore. Because it, by definition, comes from the fabric of chauvinism, the denial of the feminine, and the emasculination of the masculine. Each of you have done your part to heal that, to bring forth the feminine, to redefine the masculine. Together, the feminine and the masculine create reality. By definition, because you have a reality, you're on track. Your masculine and your feminine are intact. You are creating reality, no matter how consciously or unconsciously. So you don't have to worry about it. But what you can do is clean up some of the scripts and say, wow, I have this script that says if I fall in love and I become too dependent on the love, I'm going to be abandoned. It's going to hurt. And my lesser self says, avoid pain at all costs. Just don't love. Easily solved. Just don't love. And yet your soul keeps urging you to love, to be a light for others, to shine your light, to give and receive love, because it is who you are. And so these old scripts that are all about being safe and surviving another day, the lesser self doesn't have a lot of tools around being loving. Has a lot of tools to survive another day. And has a whole story around how you were abandoned and how nobody really loved you, or gosh, you're so loving, and why don't they understand you? And then getting angry that they leave. And then you get to stay in your self-pity and your martyrhood and be justified and rationalized and right that nobody loves you. That's the lesser self. You're not that all the time. And you're that a lot less than before.
Yes, true.
And you know when you're in that, and when you're centered and connected to higher self and looking forward to your day ahead, I'm going to create some miracles today. Higher self, let's create some miracles. Let's create opportunities to be loving. And we're going to know by the feedback we get how we did. And you have that freedom. You have created a foundation of freedom. My needs are met. I want more. And I will create more in time. As I get better about allowing myself to receive something new, something that I don't have control over, something that I don't expect. I'm willing to create new miracles every day, not just once in a while. And when you look to see, what did I create today that was a miracle? What was honestly more than I expected? You will find many in every day. And the more you let in, I really am supported. I really am connected. When I ask, I do receive. And that builds trust with your illusion. It builds trust with your higher self. It builds trust with God, Goddess. And that is a necessary part of the foundation going forward. Because communion is in community. Begins with communion. And I need to fill myself up every day with the love, the unconditional love, and my worth that is given. I don't need to earn my right to exist. I don't need to prove I'm enough to be loved. I was taught that, but it was a lie. don't need to do that anymore. And when I just let myself fill up on all that good stuff beforehand, and then I look to my day, what do I want to create today? Well, I can't think of anything specific, so I'm just going to say, today I create at least one miracle. I'm going to start there. And then suddenly a flood of ideas come about what you are going to do during the day because you've already raised your resonance, you see. And your mind and your heart connect and you work differently when you're in that resonance. And it's so important to give yourself that foundation. Does that help?
It does. It does. It really does. I have one other thing, Tara, I wanted to discuss with you. Last night, I didn't drop it far, but I did drop my laptop, which caused it not to work anymore. So I have to bring it to the Apple store tomorrow. But I'm concerned because, these Apple products, fixing them and parts and stuff were very expensive. So I guess I'm going to work with my higher self about creating a miracle that it works, or the part that has to be changed is not expensive, and but it's very disconcerting. You know what I mean?
So see it done the way you want it to be. Do you need
Okay.
it to be fixed to be whole and complete, or can you see it whole and complete and you don't really know why it works, but it suddenly does?
Do I need it to be fixed? Yes, I do need it to be fixed. That's for sure.
So
But
understand that's an image that you're putting into the universe.
okay.
I can only see it that it'll work if I fix it. What if I don't need to know how it works? My job is to desire, imagine, expect it to be working.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure does.
I'm going to segment intend that I get to the store and all I'm responsible for is the thoughts and the feelings I have when they hand me back my machine.
Yes,
I feel
that's right.
good that it works. I feel great that it didn't cost very much. Maybe it didn't cost anything. Does that make sense?
That would be that would be the optimal.
Yes. And you know how to send energy, positive energy into your machine. It's a crystal after all.
It really is. Yeah, it really is.
Ask your shining one to imbue it with positive energy and to release any negative stuff from it. And then go to the store and create that miracle.
Isn't that wonderful, Tara? Isn't that superb? Thank you so very much for both of these issues and working together. I
Yes.
really appreciate it.
Whatever you create and you assess it afterwards. But segment intending and projecting, what future do I want to step into? How do I want to feel? I want to feel joy. I want to feel loved. I want to feel gratitude. I'm going to fill up on all of that beforehand so that I can know I'm going to create a positive reality. And
Yes.
I can ask for a miracle. I can ask my higher self to help me create a miracle. Something better than expected.
Thank you so much, Tara.
All right. We love
This
you.
has been love you too, and thank you for this reading tonight. I appreciate it so much.
Absolutely. It is our pleasure.
Okay.
All right, John, who is next?
Monica, if she can hear us. Monica?
Hi, I'm here.
Yes,
Okay.
dear one. Where do we begin?
Hi, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, and thank you, Tara. Beautiful, light people bringing enlightenment and shining to the planet. Tara, so it's very wonderful and nice that where I thought it was impossible, actually, it's looking reality possible. Um, Creating it, and I'm happy that is there that I'm having someone coming in that is willing to be in my life, and I'm grateful for that. Um, and I hope that anyway, anything
So,
on that
so
great.
absolutely. So just to affirm, yes, you are on track. Yes, you are creating more of what you want. Yes, you are available to all that you are asking for. Knowing that, what is important?
Um, Security, safety,
Well,
food.
fundamentally, yes, yes. And are you able to provide that for yourself? Consent.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you have the safety and the security and you know that you can provide it, sometimes it takes a little more effort than other times, but yes, ultimately that foundation is in place. And once you know that it is there and that you can respond to any changes that come, because once you have security and safety, it's easy to say, yeah, but that doesn't mean I'll have it later. And then you go back into the fear. But it's important to appreciate right now in this moment, I have created it for myself. And I trust that I can create it again and again and again in different variations. As I grow, as I expand, my definition of safety is going to expand as well. I'm going to allow my higher self to provide a lot of that safety. I'm going to allow the universe to gift me with more resources. I'm going to be willing for a more expansive sense of safety and security. And then I get to be who I truly am. Now, you should already know that you are being who you truly are, the love and the light that you are. That is your highest priority. Each and every day you wake up into a new version of reality. And how do you want to respond to it? Do you want to be awake in that reality? Do you want to be creating something new? Some of you don't want to. Some of you say, no, 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 I want the same thing every day. Just like I like the same foods, and when I have the same meal, I feel better. I'm just going to order the same thing every time. I like consistency. But your soul does not. Your soul wants you to grow, wants you to expand. And when you are responding to that urge to grow, to create something new, to learn something new, to expand your skills and abilities and your awareness of reality, that's when you feel the excitement. That's when you feel alive. That's when you create more of what you really want. More relationships, more good stuff, more opportunities. And it just seems like the world is carrying you forward. And then there will be this lull. And every time when you're carried forward, you think, oh, this is it. This is it. This is it. It's going to stay this way forever. But of course it doesn't. You integrate those energies, and then there's this lull. And in the lull, you begin to revert back into the familiar, the safety, the need for consistency. And you're reminded of some of the old stuff. Sometimes the need to create the safety was in response to something negative. And there's a pattern there that has to be healed. It just seems like the only time I actually show up and do stuff for me is when I've lost everything, or when I've screwed something up, or when I've offended somebody, or rejected somebody, or they've rejected me. So you want to be aware. I would like to have safety be my foundation, my normal, and from that I grow and expand. And then when I hit that lull, I'm settling back into safety, but I'm conscious that I'm actually not going to be in safety in that lull for very long. And I'm listening for my soul urging me to grow. My soul helping me expand into something new. And the way it shows up, it can be a new relationship that brings up, it can be travel, it can be a new creative project, it can be a reorganizing of your physical space, it can be getting a new job, getting a new car. Something physically changes in your reality. And you find yourself being and doing and thinking and feeling differently. And you're changing your image. Oh, I am okay. Oh, I am loving. Oh, life really is better than it was. And it's important to continue to see yourself having what you want and be willing for that image in the future to shift and change, because you see your optimal future is also growing and changing. So by the time you catch up to it, the you that you are is different than the original optimal future you imagined, because that optimal future is evolving, is growing, is changing, is responding and respecting your soul's urge to grow. And so you can actually enhance your sense of safety and security by exploring those optimal futures. Wow, I've got the best future in line for me. I'm going to go to sleep tonight and dream about that future. And I'm going to give permission to my higher self to start bringing me some of that and to infuse me with those energies. Does that help?
Yes, Mr. Tara. I'm also excited because I'm having. So we speaking of, he is still looking for me, but we haven't yet connected. I think because I had not said, but I really said okay to the universe. I'm ready to accept. Um, and that's what I was asking because I don't have to stay alone anymore.
So
Under
point of, do I trust that he's on the way, or do I force it? So
no,
it's going to be a tendency to want to control outcomes, especially when you have a dream and you have a vision and you know that's coming. And you've even said yes.
yes.
So you've said yes, and if it's not here yet, why might you not want it? What part of you is resisting the change, the opportunity to be in love, to express yourself, to explore relationship, whatever it is? So as you start looking at, okay, I create my own reality. Do I complete the script with I share how I feel and the relationship begins, and I don't really know what happens next because I haven't done this part yet, but I have plenty of material in the arts where I can expand on that, and I can imagine what it feels like to be loved and to be in relationship. Or am I still holding it out here because it's safer? Safer to dream about it and not have it. It's important to know that about yourself, whether that is going on. It might not be going on. If it's not, discard it. Instead, say, no, I'm clear, but I don't trust I'm going to create it. And I'm getting impatient. And when I get impatient, I get angry or scared or doubtful. And I stop imagining it the way I want it to be. And this is something that each of you deal with when it comes to something you really want a lot of. Something you really want. I really want to create this. But what if I don't? And so it is exercising the muscle of imagination. And am I spending a lot of time imagining not having it? Or am I correcting and saying, no, that's not what I want. I want to have this relationship. I want to have this thing in my future, this being, this experience of life. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, what's important about having that experience? Who do I get to be? Who do I know I will become that I am not yet expressing? Well, then I will be more generous. Then I'll be more grateful. Then I'll be trusting. So you begin to understand the qualities you haven't yet developed in yourself. Not necessarily those for you, but whatever answer you get. And then you become motivated because you know I will become more of who I truly am. I will have more confidence. I will be more comfortable. I will have brilliant ideas, or I will have creativity that just pours out of me, or I will have passion that I express in everything I do. Now you begin to understand what's important about creating that relationship. And guess what? Don't wait till you have the relationship. Now that you know what's important, start creating that, and the relationship will follow. Because then the relationship is by choice and not need. Does that help?
Yes, last thing, repeat one more example of the last part, the last sentence.
Well, it's on the recording. So, and there's a lot in there in between the words for you. So as you re-listen to it, just let it wash over you and you will get new ideas.
Yes, I feel that it was very beautiful. And Tara, I gotta tell you, I knew your obstacle remover of chaos. Chaos. And you know what I said? I said, bring it on. I get through it. And guess what? I got through it.
Yes, you're on track. You can do it. All right. We love you so. All right, John, who is next?
And Jessica.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Pardon. Um, I'm back in the United States. I had a most amazing, magical time over the last few weeks in the jungles in Mexico with tons of nature spirits and just felt like I had really deep healing. Um, I have had a very long, many years toxic relationship with my sister that I've been working on healing. And I would say she's bipolar, and I never quite sure know who's going to show up. And right before went into the jungle a week and a half ago, she turned and was really, really nasty. And I think I finally I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with the relationship. I won't stop loving her. It's not in an old way where I would get aggressive, but it's like I'm making different choices. I don't need this. Um, and that felt really, really good. And I felt like I got all kind of messages about what a empowered choice it was. And it felt like everything that was showing up was really easy and in alignment. And I came back to Texas to deal with some things. And those things always involve dealing with her. And the last piece of land is where my father's business used to be. And uh, it keeps getting broken into several times in the last few months, stealing outboard motors off of 3 different boats we still have in there. Um, and that's frustrating and confusing. And um, I, it's, I don't know exactly what the question is, but it has to do with me coming back and her getting very defensive. She can't talk to me to share information with me, and I let go of it. And I think I'm doing really good, and I've disconnected, and then I get to see I'm not fully disconnected. And of course, it brings up frustration and anger for me. I'd like some help around that. And while I was waiting and listening to everyone else talking, um, I have an old Honda van that I have in the United States, and I'm staying with a friend here in Texas that I stay with when I'm here. And he came in to ask me about a window being broken in my van. And in the last 2 hours, the right passenger window is broken. And it takes a lot of force to break that window. It's completely curious. Neither one of us have been cleaning it up for the last hour listening. It's very curious. Nothing's stolen out of the van. It happened during daylight. What could have happened? There's nothing that looks like a branch could have fallen out of a tree. It definitely brought up, what the hell? What is the message here? And somehow I think there's some connection with all this. So I'd like some help in understanding so I don't keep creating this stuff.
All right. So let's clear some things. So
Yeah.
absolutely, coming at you, stolen motors, broken glass. Uh, it's very easy to say, "Oh, I'm not creating this. It's happening to me." And it's true. You're
Well, let me just interrupt
conscious.
you with the things that got stolen out of the property. I tend to attribute that to it has to do with my sister. I was out of the country. It didn't have anything to do with me. She keeps creating this. Um, and she hasn't been able to even relay the information to me over the last couple hours. So I was very angry about that. So go ahead. I'm listening.
Yes. So, but as soon as you go into that mode of blaming her, and
Blaming her. Right.
that now you no longer know that you create your own reality. So
Right.
it may be the truth, and you may create it that it's found out that, well, she was irresponsible and she should have had security cameras, or should have done this or that. Absolutely could have been handled differently. But
Yes.
that's not the reality that was created. What was
Right.
created was coming back from your trip, all charged up, all connected, and then boom, something out of the blue, out
Yeah.
of control, had nothing to do with you. Same with the van, out of your control, completely unknown to you. You don't even see who did it. You don't even get to have somebody take responsibility for the impact they had on you.
Right.
It's this invisible force having negative impact on you, and you have to clean it up. That's the story. I have to clean up the mess.
Hmm.
So, so part of this pattern with the sister is that sense of I have to clean it up.
Hmm.
It won't
Yes.
get done if I don't step in. And with that comes this sense of she's not trustworthy, or she's I can come up with all kinds of psychological reasons why she's not responsible. But the bottom line is I just can't trust her. I can't count on her. And she has become a force of negativity.
Well, this time I came back in town and I thought, you know what? I'm not going to play this game. And so, boom, I met with the family lawyer. I met with all these people. I got bids. I'm just going to start taking care of all this stuff. I'm not going to play this game of um, being angry with her. But here we are.
Yes. And how wonderful that you did get in action and you are getting things done in spite of that energy that's there. So let's clear that energy because it's like a
Mhm.
poltergeist type thing.
Yes.
So so there you might say there's just this weird opening in the energy field that happens in relationship to the responsibility for this land and for the purpose that you're there and for your reaching for freedom.
Yes.
I want to be free of my past. I want to be free and clear and
Mm.
open, have a future in front of me that is separate from this past.
And separate from my sister.
Yes, she's part of that picture. The land, the sister,
Yes.
the grief,
Yes.
parents, whatever's there.
Yes.
The whole many, many years, many generations, all of it. So,
Yes.
so what's important is to gather back into yourself, into your essence. This is an illusion. This is a lifetime that is an illusion. I get to write a new script, and I am busy creating something new. And
Mm.
I've had these these experiences in the jungle with the nature spirits. I remember who I am. I remember that this illusion isn't really me. I get to be connected and bring forth magic and miracles, and I can create from that place. And when I got back, I got in action, and boom, 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 I'm taking care of business. And I encounter this wall of resistance
Mm. Exactly.
that isn't me. And yet I have to deal with it. I can't ignore it.
Mm.
So we're going to look at it from an energy standpoint. It looks like a contract, looks like an agreement.
Mm.
And so just go into yourself, ask your higher self to show you, who did I make that agreement with? And what is the agreement? Is it your mother or your father or someone earlier than that? It wasn't your sister.
It wasn't my sister. I was feeling like it was my sister. Uh, with my father,
Yeah. And what was the promise, the guarantee that he promised you if you were to do something for him?
he would take care of things.
Yes. And what would you get out of that?
Oh, I would be beholden to him.
And in what way? What do you have to subjugate in yourself?
Do what he wants me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be who he wants me to be. And I've been angry about that my whole life. And well, let me restate that. I've done a lot of work around being angry my whole life about that.
Well, and you have freed yourself essentially, and yet here it is again.
Yes.
And it shows up when you're dealing with family stuff, when you're
Hmm.
interacting,
Oh,
when you're
right.
the land. It shows up when you're freeing yourself.
Oh.
And so we want you to tear up that contract.
Hmm.
So the way you're going to do it is you're going to go into your safe place. Your higher self's going to be there, and you're going to call forth the little girl that you were when that agreement was made.
Mm-hmm.
A sense of the age. How young were you?
4.
All right.
4.
See your 4-year-old come, and she's going to come maybe sit in your lap, or she's going to hang out with your higher self. Doesn't matter. But you're welcoming her, and you're going to say, you don't have to agree to that.
Mm-hmm.
we're going to take care of it. We're going to tear it up. You don't have to sign it. You don't have to agree to that because you're here for a different reason. Now, you, the adult, gain strengths and abilities because of that contract. And so it's important for you to own, I chose that script so that more
Right.
I would develop the ability to know the difference and to resist and to choose freedom again and again and again.
Right.
So it served me, but it doesn't serve her to hold on to it or to even agree to it in the first place. She can have all that freedom without the contract. And as you let her have that in her reality and free her up from it, then you now have the freedom to end it. I can know that I chose that script as a soul coming in to assure certain things, my individuality, my sense of knowing what's right and wrong, my sense of boundaries and freedom, and my desire to see the world. All of that came out of that agreement. And I can be grateful to myself. I do not have to be grateful to him. Wrong. What he did was wrong.
Right. Yes.
I had no right to ask that of you. But it was part of the chauvinism, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And you got to see it in action, how chauvinism works and what is wrong about it and the impact it had on you. And it sparked your journey of freeing yourself up to be available to the feminine energy and to redefine the masculine. So, free of the contract, which as we're talking, you're freeing yourself up.
And I feel like my sister has taken over that role. She sounds and looks and acts and talks like my father when he was alive in his most chauvinistic place.
Yes. And so, contract torn up, she doesn't have to reflect that anymore.
Okay.
But first, you must lift the shame. So, ask her see your 4-year-old with you and you yourself and your sister too, because she's part of the script somehow. She's taken that association or that identity. So your higher self, bring in the goddess and ask the shame to be lifted. Please, shame. I didn't know I had a choice. I designed it. It was by design, but I didn't know the impact it would have on me. I thought I could handle it.
Right.
Didn't know before I signed it that it would change me so much, that it would change everything. And so ask that to be lifted. And as it's being lifted, just feel that lightness of being that comes. Feel it lift off your shoulders and out of your neck and out your crown. And wherever else, and if you see any cords, just cut them. Your higher self. And then your sister, if she's still there, she just is turned over to her higher self. Your father's turned over to his. It is done. It is done. So important to be done. Okay, now when my sister talks to me, she may still at first sound like my father, but I know it's not because I cleaned this up.
Right. Well, I was surprised what's been happening today because I've been back almost a week and it was so different. But I hear you. I'm going to work on this.
Well, it's pretty much cleared up now. So all of these incidents that were bringing up that I'm so frustrated, I'm so angry at her, she sounds just like father, all of that
Mm-hmm.
which you had cleared out a lot of already, but that contract was coming up. Hey, you got this contract, clean it up, end it. And so
But
you
what
have.
the hell about this mysterious the window breaking in the last 2 hours? I just walked out to the van less than 2 hours ago.
It was part of that. I have to clean up other people's messes.
Mm,
And that then leads you into self-pity and martyrhood.
right. Yeah, that's
So,
very clear.
so as you say, no, there's a mess, but and it is my van and I'm upset about it. But I don't
But I
have
don't need to give my power away to it.
exactly. I don't have to be a victim. I don't have to define
Right,
myself as a victim.
right.
I've learned what I needed to learn from it that, oh, okay, this is some energy that was being to bring my attention to the contract,
Mm-hmm,
which I thought I had done, but there was a little bit left to do. And it was really more for your four-year old than for your adult self. But
mm-hmm,
now we want you to see your center and see that light of protection that your higher self provides and expand it out.
mm-hmm,
It's an infinite source of light and protection.
mm-hmm.
And just see it comes through your core, your center, and then it radiates out and just see it just being fed and expanding like a pool of water, but getting bigger and bigger, rippling effect. So it's beyond the town you're in,
Mm-hmm.
beyond the land, beyond the state, beyond the country, until it completely encircles any reality you will experience.
Mm-hmm. I noticed, thank you, that's beautiful. I noticed with the broken window, what came up for me immediately was that until this property sells, I'm always living in a very contracted place around money. And I've learned to do that in an amazingly beautiful, expansive way. And I love that about myself. And I noticed what came up about the window is like, oh my God, this is going to cost $200 or $300. I don't have $200 or $300. It brought up this
Yeah.
part of me that goes into scarcity and fear around money. Um,
So you have a choice. Do I stay in that emotion where I know I
mhm,
can't create what I want?
right.
Or do I
Like, yeah.
help myself
Okay. That,
feel better by seeing the window fixed? I don't know how it got fixed. I don't
right.
I don't need to see myself spending money to get it fixed. That is one way it could get fixed.
Hmm.
But
Right.
my job is to see the van as whole and complete and shiny and
Yeah.
sparkly, and I enjoy driving it. And the
Right.
future of it being whole and complete is my focus. And how do I feel when I know it's whole and complete?
Yes. Right.
And that's the resonance then you create from.
Yes.
Then you
That,
segment and solutions will come. I don't know what,
yes.
but I'm willing to trust the universe will provide the answers.
As they always do.
Yeah. And
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful.
the
Thank
same
you.
for when you're selling the land. There's always that, my sister's interfering, or she's holding things up, or the buyers just aren't showing up fast enough, or you could be in that place, but you won't create the sale then. So
Yeah, I feel that this thing, I mean, I did ceremonies in a cave with nature spirits all around. Literally felt it change and came back that I feel excited for the first time about this property selling with ease. And, so this is a little with my sister in the last day.
yes, and because you did address it tonight, it's not
Hmm.
going to grow into anything more. Oh, it's an
Yeah,
inconvenience.
I felt
But it
something
doesn't
shift.
change the direction you've been heading in, which is I have momentum, and the momentum
Yes.
is carrying through to create that success.
Yes, exactly. Oh, thank you so much. You've helped tremendously.
Yes, we love you so. You're right on track.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Love you.
All right.
So grateful. Thank you. Bye.
All right. And John, who is next?
Henry.
Hello, Tara. What a wonderful evening of discussion. Everything has been so, and I wanted to say I got so excited during the meditation. What a fantastic meditation, because it just seems like, well, this is it, yes, and all that sort of thing. And what was coming out of it was just a feeling. No, I've got to hold on to this. I've got to hold on to this negativity. Um, it's about, I was feeling a lot of it around my heart, but and then I realised it was about, it's all about passion, and it's a thing I talked with the Zoras about, that passion is so much of what I'm about, and suppressing the passion has been what so much of what I've been about, because it feels like I'm going to make a mistake. I'm going to do something if I just let myself go, and or if I just let myself do what I want to do, and it's all going to go to hell in a handbasket. And just getting a glimpse of that, and then what was coming out of that was, I've been a real curmudgeon the last week, and every morning I've been waking up and just going, well, this is it, this is the end, and because I'm definitely going to be out of it, because I can't get, I'm so kind of depressed in my energy, and I can't get myself together, and I can't get excited about things, and the phones are all going to go wrong, and all those sort of things. And what I've actually today, there was a thing of the phone going wrong in some ways, and I suddenly realised, wait a minute, this isn't half the problem that I thought it was going to be. And so this is what I tend to do, is I just kind of get so directed on that. But the other thing that has come out of even I did an open mic this week, and I was thinking, can I really kind of do this passionate stuff and be passionate with it? And I wanted to do a Neruda poem about, I want to eat your body, and I thought, well, perhaps that's not terribly appropriate, but anyway, I did some other poems, and I was just thinking, just go for it, just get completely over the top, just let it go. And I was feeling, and people really appreciated that. I did Shylock last night, and I was thinking, well, he's kind of a calm sort of, he's got to do it from within and all that sort of thing. And then I had a quick look at Laurence Olivier doing Sherlock, and he had all this energy, and so then I just went for it, and it just felt so much better than well, than not. I mean, just letting it all out. And the other thing, then I realised that even though I've been a curmudgeon, I've been asking my higher self to work with me with kind of the things to, so that something bright and brilliant happens, and then thinking, well, it's not really going to happen. But I've had these things happen where I wanted to get into the post office and out of the post office very, very quickly. And so I said, I want an empty post office. And I went to the post office, and it was completely empty on a Friday lunchtime. Absolutely impossible. And another place I went and had a wonderful treat of being given a bottle of wine and some guacamole, because there was supposed to be an event at the bookstore. I go and talk to the people at the bookstore, and it wasn't there. So they say, "Oh, well, do you want the stuff?" Because nobody came, and just things like that. And I'm realizing that all of this I'm putting at the feet of my higher self. In that, another thing, I met a guy. I've been talking to a guy, an artist on the boardwalk, and he finally got away from his girlfriend after 14 years. And it was the same, I mean, it was the same story we were telling each other about the relationship between me, my second wife, and his relationship with his girlfriend. And I'm just, yes, it's all, and with my higher self, it's all kind of, creating these wonderful things, but it's always, have I asked correctly or have I done it right? Because basically it's my higher self that's doing it and giving it to me. It's not me that's kind of just creating it, and just realizing that this stuff about I'm going to let go. It's just it's the end and all that sort of thing. I'm punishing my higher self because I'm saying to my higher self, basically, you're not solving this for me, and uh, I can't do it myself. And I mean, it's just a horrible situation to realize, and finding myself difficult to pull myself out of it, and and again thinking I shouldn't just kind of go off and do all these things and that I want to do, and you know feeling stuff about wanting to feel a lot more sensuality and doing it anyway, but thinking, oh, well, this is adolescent, I shouldn't be doing that and that sort of thing. So where now?
Yes,
And
beautiful.
we've been there before.
Yeah, so to really let in that sense of indebtedness. Oh, I'm the holdup here. I'm not letting, I'm not allowing my higher self to intervene. When I do, life is full of miracles, is
Yeah,
beautiful. And then when I'm not up to it, when I'm giving up on life, so to speak, that's a form of rejecting my higher self's
yeah,
efforts in my direction. And maybe it's important to feel a bit of indebtedness, a little bit of sorrow that I spend so much time rejecting and thinking that I'm not enough when my higher self doesn't have any issue with me and is more than happy to continue to provide miracles, more love, more healing. So as you just sit with that and just let yourself know how loved you are. And there's nothing you can do to diminish your higher self's love. You can lead a life of struggle and suffering and deny the love that is there, always there. But that's on you, isn't it? Because your higher
yes, it's
self will never stop loving you unconditionally.
right.
And so the challenge is, how can I create a life where I'm opening more and more and more to that unconditional love? How can I test myself, so to speak, and measure, was I open today? Did I really let in love? Or was I rejecting it? Was I struggling against it? Was I giving more value to struggle and suffering, or more value to being loving and being open? And as you give yourself some sort of easy, quick way to measure, the choice becomes more easy to choose the love. It's easier than to say, I choose love. And I'll do that as long as I feel open to it. And then something else pops up and you get upset or you struggle a little bit, but then you say, no, I choose love. For you, that would be very, very effective. So give that a try this week.
Yes, I mean that I have been trying to pop that in as much as possible, and also link with my optimal.
Yes. And perhaps rather than saying today I choose love for you because of what you just shared about your experience with passion, perhaps to say today I choose passion, because that opens up a whole different resonance that includes love.
Yeah,
And so maybe that can then circumvent some of the issues around love that are there.
yes. Well, yeah, I say the passion is. I mean, I love feeling passionate, but I just always feel I'm going to make a terrible mistake, and
Well,
in terms
that's
of
that's the old script. So just as we were talking to Francis about his old script, if you look into the past and you look at where passion went wrong
right.
and see, oh, see, my lesser self warns me all the time, don't be passionate. It's going to get you in trouble. Don't let yourself get out of control. It's really not good for you. But when you're connected and you choose in the moment when to pull forth that passion. Oh, this open mic is a great opportunity for me to just explore in this role a new depth of passion, a new expression of it, to just see what impact it has. In that it's an appropriate vehicle. And even in your relationship with people, where the agreement is, oh, we're going to explore passion together. So when you fall in love and the other person loves you for your passion, that's the appropriate time in relationship to have passion be the predominant energy. In a friendship where you have calm conversations and intellectual pursuits, maybe not.
Well, I'm usually talking to people about what they're passionate about. I mean, I ask people, what's your creative thing, and then we talk about that. I mean, that's what I love doing, of course. Um, but it's
Beautiful.
also finding more people to do that. But the other thing is just finding again this thing with my higher self that I'm saying, well, I want to go and do this, and I want to do this, and then I don't know whether I really do. I don't think I do. Like I'm saying, I want to go and have a swim, and then I'm thinking, I don't think I do really want to go. But I think it's a thing that I shouldn't be doing because I should be doing something else, and it's kind of really rebelling against what I think I should be suppressing myself, and at the same time, I know perfectly well that suppressing myself is that whole thing that is, you know what I mean? It's
So what we're hearing is when you choose to go do something, then you can think of 100 other things you should be doing.
yeah,
But but that deprives you of the momentum that you just had. It saps you of the enthusiasm you had for stepping forward. So so the yeah, but you could be doing all these other things is the problem. It's the voice of the negative ego. So that first inspiration is the right one to follow.
right,
The yeah buts are not so much because what are they doing? They're sapping all the joy and all of the momentum out of that first inspiration.
right,
And then where are you? I wonder why I have no energy.
yeah,
Which is a more comfortable place for the lesser self. No energy is safer.
yeah.
Oh, good. Henry's calmed down. Henry's not going to go do anything crazy, like go swimming.
Yes, or I mean, it came up with laundry last week, and I just got to this place of, I haven't done laundry for ages because I hated doing laundry, and I got to this point of, hey, it'd be really great to do laundry now. I mean, it's the right time of day, and it'd be fantastic. But also, the cafe where I get free bagels and I mean, pastries and things and a great cup of tea is closing at 3 o'clock, and yeah, that's what I really want to do. And then I was thinking, no, no, I was feeling like doing the laundry. No, and no, just go to the cafe. That's what you do, and then you'll get your free pastries. And then I'm thinking, well, I'm eating so badly these days. That's also taking my energy out. Pastry and meat and no and some fruit, but no kind of green vegetables, which always used to be my thing. And so anyway, I went to the cafe, and on the way it was all, oh dear, I really wanted to do the laundry, and it was just I was just kind of driven to go to the cafe, and just thinking, how can I, how can I put myself where I really want to be?
Well,
Just the
something to
spirit of rebellion is just so.
something to test in the next few days is just to go always with the first inspiration and see how that works out for you for your
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah,
And really just notice, well, you already noticed the internal dialogue. You don't need to notice that anymore. But if you have the inspiration, I'm going to go do this, then say, and then just do it. Get in that action. Yes, this is what I'm committed to. Automatically the old stuff will be there, the reasons why not, and the are you sure, you could be missing out, blah blah blah. Those are old patterns that are coming up to be cleaned out.
yeah. Yes, I understand that.
Yes. And so as you're living more in the moment, you will find that you have more inspiration, more energy,
Yeah,
because this mechanism of shutting yourself down, talking yourself out of things, confusing the issue with too many choices
yeah,
is sapping energy. And then you don't feel like doing anything. Then where did my creativity go? It's gone. Poof, gone
yeah,
out the window. And it's that old mechanism. And when you look more deeply into it, you'll see that when you were young, your inspiration was arrested with go do your homework, go do the chores, do this, do that, stop doing
yeah,
what you're doing. So that's a very parental control of kids. It's a natural structure that all of or many of you grew up with. Hardly any of you are young enough to not have that. In the chauvinism, the unique energy that you are got shut down in different ways, usually through rules or behavior control.
yeah,
And so a lot of the work you do with your inner child is to free that child, to heal the adaptive behavior. The child had to adapt to survive, to get the attention, to get the love. Oh, they want me to behave. Okay, I'll behave, then they'll love me. Oh, they want me to stop having fun and do homework or do chores. So if I stop having fun, then they'll love me. Then I'll get the attention. Then I'll get the meal that I need. You see, all of the direction that came from the parent was a threat
yeah.
in chauvinism. Do what I say or else. Some of you actually had physical consequences where you got spanked or you, whatever, worse. Others of you just had yelling or you had love withheld, the silent treatment.
I had
So,
things taken away from me. Yeah.
yeah, so it was painful.
Hmm.
There is pain there. And you don't want to leave your child in that reality. You
Yeah.
need to make sure that your little boy is safe and in a different environment where he is free to be himself, free to explore, free to be inspired, free to follow his muse, so to speak,
Yeah.
and is no longer the adaptive child that you became in your past. But you don't have to stay there. And as you allow that little boy to be free, and when you do this, you know it lightens something up in me. I know for certain I don't need to be that way anymore. Because now in my psyche, I'm doing it to myself. I'm the critical parent. I'm the judge.
Yeah.
And as you free that up, it frees it up in your adult self too, so that you can function in a more integrative way and you will be more available to the inspiration that is part of your soul and your spirit waking up.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yes, absolutely it does. Yes, there is one other little thing that, well, big thing that again is that I put against the passion, which is that I still haven't still not finished with the bed bugs, and you know the whole bed bug thing is about not really mixing with people, in case you pass it on, and so
So as you
I am going out and about,
step
but
back, okay, I've got this script that I'm playing out where I have this outside force called, in this case, bed bugs, or and attached to those bed bugs, this outside force is an authority figure that's telling me how to be
yeah,
and creates a sense of fear that I am going against the authority. So that's a script
yeah,
that that is popping up as you reach to be more free and self-expressed
yeah,
and more
yeah.
passionate. What's coming up is the script that has been a big part of doing the right thing, being appropriate, being British. Perhaps.
Yeah, no, the British thing is important. Yeah.
Yes. So keep the accent, but lose the behavior.
Okay, okay.
So as what you're having mirrored to you is, oh, I still have this automatic expectation that I am in trouble and I want to rebel. So this is the adolescent at work.
Yeah.
So the everybody's thinking, why doesn't he just get rid of the bed bugs? Then he can be free to be again. But the message is get rid of the script that you're not free to be because of some outside authority. That's what needs to be healed. That's what needs to be deleted and changed. No, I'm my own authority. I'm going to take back my authority and I'm going to author a new script for my life. Now, we say it as though, oh, that's so easy, just go write a new script. We understand that this is neurology. This is what you do with the coaching, where you identify thoughts, emotions, behaviors, and how they're linked. And then you change them by understanding they served a purpose, that purpose has been met and is no longer needed. It was important for your adolescent, but it had a negative impact of causing him to feel like he was always in trouble and that he couldn't do it right and he was going to get it wrong and there was always this outside authority that was going to punish him. Now, that outside authority in this lifetime was probably a parental figure or a teacher, but in other lifetimes it was God or it was some other person who had a lot of power. And so as you let in, oh, this is lifetimes,
Yeah.
not doesn't make sense in this lifetime, doesn't make sense in regards to the bed bugs. That extra weight is the clue. I need to free all of my lifetimes by reclaiming and restoring my authority. And I can do that. I have done it before. I can do it over and over as many times as I need to reclaim it. I sit with my higher self and I give my higher self permission to disconnect from outside authority. Whoever it is, this lifetime, any other lifetime, doesn't matter. The more obvious one's going to be as your adolescent, maybe one of your parents. So you bring your adolescent in and you have him be the model. This is how the pattern works. This is the consequence on him or agreeing that someone else is the authority. Well, as an adolescent, well, isn't it true? Well, yes and no. You see, as a soul, you have always been the ultimate authority, but you were taught that you're not. You were convinced that you were not. You had others usurp that authority from you in the chauvinism. And it needs to be reclaimed and restored. So important to who you are becoming. Now, Henry, you have reclaimed much of your authority, or you wouldn't be able to choose to be passionate. You wouldn't even show up at an open mic or go swim or have a meal or go to that and get your pastry. Whatever it is that you do that is so fun in your life. You have done enough. This is the last bit. It's because it's in a pattern in other lifetimes that it's popping up again. And you have promised to bring all your lifetimes home. And so this is for all of them also.
Right.
And there is that weight. Feels like, how am I going to fix this? It's so heavy. But it's not you who fixes it. It's asking for the help. Ask for it to be lifted. Ask for the authority to be restored to you energetically and feel it coming in as a light, as a strength. Perhaps it feels like steel, strength in steel, or perhaps it's a beam of light that just lines everything up. Be as visual and visceral and engaged as possible. Make it up. Just let it, your imagination flow with it and know that it is happening. And that the imagination is just for your benefit, for your conscious mind. It'll happen regardless of if you imagine or not. Just because you have given permission. You see, what each of you don't really understand is that you're the holdup each and every time because your will prevails. When you stop giving permission to let your higher self intervene, to let your soul and spirit work with you, to have God and Goddess bring you more, they require your permission because you are the authority. And so you're having to retrain yourself. Oh, well, I've been waiting. Why aren't they doing anything? Well, did you give them permission? Well, a while ago. Do it often, do it frequently. Because you don't know what you actually gave permission for that was then sort of tempered by hidden agendas or whatever. But the clearer you become on, no, I want this back. Then when you ask with conviction and you give that permission and say, I want it back. I give you permission to intervene. I give you permission to heal me while I sleep. I give you permission to work with me throughout my day and bring me feedback. And as you do that more and more, you're restoring your conscious authority. Oh, I gave them permission. Oh, and look, they did it. I didn't even realize to what degree I was missing it. Now I'm getting it back. It feels really good. I'm going to ask for more. Does that help?
Yes, it does. And then there's a very simple question that is still there about, but what about my impact on other people if I'm mixing with people and I have bedbugs?
But it gets the whole illusion gets dismantled when you take back your authority, because then you don't have a need for the bedbugs.
Right. So it's about changing that reality. Let that reality change.
Yes, the reality is changing. You will respond differently to the information you have. You will create new information coming in. You will create the permissions.
Right.
You will know when you're done with authority when you create the permission to interact. When the solutions come. Oh, I don't have bugs after all, or I don't have them anymore. It's the non-issue, and life has gone on. Does that
Right. Yes, I've been holding a sense of that, and then thinking, but then yes, not thinking that it's my authority. Yes, right.
yes. And the weight of it, the indecision, the I know I have to deal with this, but I just don't know what to do. That's typical when there are past lives weighing it down.
Oh, right, right, right.
Because it doesn't make sense. It should be easy. I should have fixed it already.
Yeah,
Should not have been this difficult or lasted
yeah,
this long. So that's how you know.
yeah. That's wonderful. Thank you so, so much.
Yes, we love you so. And you were ready for the information at this level. You've gotten it in different pieces along the way, but now it's all coming together. Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm ready to take back my authority. Didn't realize to what degree it was gone.
yeah.
Beautiful. We love you so.
Thank you. I love you, Tara.
Yes, and we feel your love and appreciate every bit of it.
Thank you.
All right. And so we go for now to each and every one of you. We go with love and peace. Until next time.